Hello my audience! Yeah! Today we are here at the home and it's again slippery as heck over there on the outside world, so I won't be going today, and there's nothing really to do today either way in the outside world because it's the Saturday. And man, I hate these weekends, you know. If I could decide, I would be just writing every day, all day, and yeah. But today I'm over here and I just filmed a couple of videos against the background, and one of the shitty things that I have on my filming setup is that the light that I use, the colored LED light, it always shuts off at some point because it's battery powered. I would really want to get one of these ring lights in RGB. I know that there's one manufacturer that makes one of those. Today I'm wearing red pants. I know that there's one manufacturer that makes those, but I don't think you can buy one in Finland. And that's one of the shitty things about Finland. You can buy most of the stuff over here that you could get in the States and even more. But still, man, that would be so nice, you know, RGB ring light. Like, man, I have to make a request for some of the stores I have been shopping at that they could do one of those for me. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about freedom. I just put my camera, it's not really in a straight line either way, but it don't matter. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about freedom and the feeling that some people have of having to do something. So demands, you know, I ought to be doing and this kind of stuff. If you really think about like what freedom is freedom is that you don't have to do any specific thing, you know, freedom of mind at least. You don't have to insist on this. So if today, for example, you feel like I'm not going to do this, is it freedom? Is it using your freedom if you still do it? For example, not doing the dishes. Is it using your freedom if you don't do those dishes? And I'm going to say that kind of, yeah, it's using your freedom, but at the same time it's called laziness. And yeah, you can say that people have these duties, you know. That's all bullshit, you know. Nobody has any duties, you know. Like it's just other people bossing you around, you know. That's just basic human nature. Some people just want to do that. But for reals, when you think about freedom, that's what freedom is all about. You don't have to do anything. And if you do something, then it's kind of actually kind of noble and honorable. Hey man, you did something even though you didn't have to do it. Like, what's that about? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a shitty day for reals because I'm just stuck over here, my home, and I very rarely go through these kind of periods where I can't really invent anything. But it's not that I can't invent anything, it's just that I feel today kind of maybe burnt out because I spent so many hours last week or this week with the pen and writing. So it must have been like 24 hours, you know, in 4 days of writing. So I'm kind of, you know, burned out. And it's understandable. And sometimes, you know, people feel that you burn out and it doesn't make any sense that you know, it doesn't make sense why you don't have the energy. But when you really start to kind of look at it, you realize that it makes very much sense that at the moment, you know, I don't have that energy to do this thing. And it makes sense, but your kind of logical mind cannot really think from the perspective of the body. That, you know, you're not like a robot, you know, you just cannot do stuff endlessly and expect that you are not going to like burn out at some point. You're gonna burn out at some point, but it's just, you know, based on the individual when that is going to happen. And then you can say like, what's your resource then? Like, what are you on about? I'm going to tell you that lately, because of my teeth, I have been doing quite a lot of fasting. You see this shirt over here. It's a very slim fit one, and I've been doing, you know, dry fasting and water fasting and this kind of stuff, and mainly because of my teeth. It's not that I want to become any thinner, it's just that almost any food that I eat, because of the, you know, the plating on the teeth has been kind of, you know, taken away, so to say, then almost every food that I eat, you know, causes pain to eat. And yeah, I'm just doing this African style living right now, and I've been seeing a lot of dreams, and I might talk to you a little bit about those next. So this is this kind of new type of a video. No cuts, truth detective giving you talks. And let's put it so it doesn't fall from there. Yeah, that would be disastrous. But for real, you guys, I have been seeing a lot of dreams, and yeah, like just yesterday I saw a dream where there were a couple of, or this night I saw a dream where there was a couple of these people, and they were carrying this huge like, what is it called, mattress, like very thick mattress. They were carrying it like on this field, and they were talking about pollution and saying that at the fields there's more pollution than in the forests. And it didn't make any fucking sense, because when I looked around, you know, there weren't cars or plants or anything like that for miles, and they were saying that there's more pollution over here. I don't really know, but maybe that's true. And then I saw a dream where there was this like a hail of these arrows, you know, coming down from the sky. Like there was just, you know, barrage of like these arrows, and I was just, you know, lying there, and I was looking left and right, and it was very odd, because the odd arrows, you know, they didn't seem to have any effect on me. You know, I was in some kind of, you know, invisible form, but it was like, you know, the barrage of arrows, like the deadliest thing that you could ever get yourself into. And it's very fun, or it's not very fun to like think about it, but in the past, in the warfare of the past, maybe those kind of things happened. I don't know if they were that intense, but maybe they might have been. And I believe that that dream was influenced by this book. And some writers can do that, you know, you start to see dreams that are kind of like that. And when I think about it, you know, dreams are much more, when you are in them, you know, they are a more interesting reality actually than reality itself. Of course, they are kind of influenced by reality, or you can say that they are, but at the same time they are something, you know, bigger than reality. And it's very fun that you can see dreams from different climates, or, you know, temperatures, that what you are actually experiencing at the time, at least in the outside world. But when you think about it, you very rarely would sleep in the outside world, at least in this, you know, climate in Finlandia, at least right now, because it's fucking cold. And well, it's getting at, actually right now the temperature is getting to the 0, so it's not that cold anymore, and that's great. But yeah, I have been keeping, you know, my curtains and this thing, you know, in front of the curtain for the whole winter time. And yeah, I haven't really been conscious of the lighting conditions, you know, in the outside world. And you have seen that I haven't filmed, you know, any videos like daytime. There's a lot of beautiful sunlight and that kind of stuff in the winter time, but I just haven't, you know, had that feeling that I want to go out there in the snow and film you the video. Last year I did that, but this year I just didn't do that, you know. And it was mainly because of the problems in my knees, you know. There was a couple of walks that I did all the way to this place called Kulla, and I went there in the night time, you know. It was like 4 times, and it's 20 kilometers, so that's almost 100 kilometers spread over a week. And I filmed those, and I filmed on every one of those walks, you know, a lot. And one of those videos was called Life-Changing Singing Adventure or something like that. You can go check it out. It's in there, you know, amongst the videos from January, I think, or the December of last year. And man, they were brutal, you know. Those walks were really brutal because 2 of them I had to do in a snowstorm. And it was freaking crazy, you know, but I survived. But my knees hurt pretty bad. And I had to spend about a month and a half, you know, just, you know, lying around over here. So I read almost all of the books by that writer, Dan Simmons. And he's a great writer. And I don't know if he kind of influenced actually me to do those walks. And that would be kind of, you know, like an evil plan to sell your books. But I don't know, maybe not directly like that, but it was great to be reading that writer, because now I have noticed that my writing has become much more imaginative, and some of the stories I told this winter, they were really imaginative stories. So yeah, but you know, I have this kind of restlessness in me, and the next subject I'm going to talk about you over here is just that when I have been in the library, I have noticed that if I eat, you know, and if I go there by car, I feel this kind of restlessness in me. But if I walk, then there's not that kind of, you know, feeling of being restless if I walk. But if I go by car, it's very different. And I don't know about you, but I just feel that, you know, going with a car, it changes up how you think, and you tend to be kind of sluggish in your brain. And if you walk and you try to walk very far away from cars, your brain works much better. And if you have walked some up hills, your brain works even better. That's just what I've noticed. And it's one of those things that I discovered, you know, like years back in the winter times, that if you walk upstairs in the winter times, your hands and your feet won't freeze, because your circulation kind of changes when you walk up. It's one of the strategies, but yeah. And then I'm going to be telling you that because this winter time is kind of ending right now, I'm just going to give you some, you know, ideas if you are a Finnish viewer, and if you are not a Finnish viewer and you live in some, you know, warmer climate where there's no snow and the degrees don't ever drop below, you know, like 10 degrees, then this won't really apply to you. But I'm just going to say to you that in a climate like this in Finlandia, we have to be pretty flexible, but at the same time we have to have great plans about the seasons and what are the strong points of the seasons. For example, when I talk to you about telling stories, like what's the best time for that? Well, of course, it's the winter time, you know, and I'm kind of following these, you know, maybe like olden day traditional like ways of living. And when you are going through, for example, like school, you tend to be at school, you know, through the whole year, but the summertime. And I don't know if that makes that much sense, but I would say that, you know, that theoretical knowledge, of course it makes kind of sense that you should acquire that theoretical knowledge for yourself in the winter time, and not, for example, in the summertime. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time there's a lot of greatness in summer. And the last summer I was writing a lot in the library also, and I was walking there, and I have been keeping up my, body weight, at very steady, like 61, 62, 63 kilograms through my whole kind of, well, from like my 20s to mid 20s, and now I'm 27 years old. So I have been keeping up my body weight very, steady. When I can no longer cycle, I just walk. And I feel that many people think about their life that, that's tedious and it takes a lot of time. But the fact is that your body needs this kind of, exercise, and if you become fucking depressed if you don't get any exercise. And that's what I noticed about, that 1 month and a half period that I had. That I was becoming very, very fucking depressed because of my knees, and now the situation is better, but I have to be very, light on myself. But just last week I was capable of walking again, to the library to write, and it's about 5 kilometers, so it's about 10 kilometers a day, of walking. And it's great, it takes a lot of time, but I can do videos and I can do all kinds of funny stuff when I, walk. And one of the great things that you can do while you walk is practicing rapping and singing. And yeah, you might seem like a lunatic, but that doesn't really matter if you don't have much to lose in terms of like your reputation. And when you think about it, if you are a bit of a lunatic, it's much better for your reputation actually if you want to become a little famous, And that's what I want. I want to become a little famous. I want to become a little bit more famous than I want to become a little bit more than a little bit famous. And what I feel though is that when you actually become more known, it's also kind of a pain in the ass sometimes to deal with the people. And everything to kind of to a certain extent, I feel that, those people that have become really famous, I've kind of started to understand their, like how a pain in the ass life can become, but at the same time, just be kind of grateful that people are noticing your stuff. I think it's great. I think it's great. So I really appreciate that. But at the same time, you should never lose your kind of vision, what you are going for in your life because of your fans. Your fans are not here to decide what you are gonna do, they can kind of, give you ideas and this kind of stuff. And that's what I've noticed, is that when I film videos and I meet the fans in real life, is that I kind of get these ideas from them even like non-verbally. And even if they might say, something completely unrelated to actually me making videos, I always get kind of ideas for my videos. So it's kind of like using other people's brains for your, own development. That's what I feel, that I have been, it's called picking brains, but that's different, Picking brains is about going to some people's, and if they are great at something, getting ideas and, masterminding. But that's not what I'm really talking about, and I should have shaved, I know that. But I was just like, it's just a pain in the ass to shave, so I didn't. But yeah, so I've been, getting a lot of, this brain power from other people. And even if you have like shitty brains, if you have 10 of them, you get a pretty good, you can get pretty good ideas. Even though you might have 10 pairs of shitty brains. If you have very great brains, then you can use these shitty brains for your own, like development. That's what I have felt. And it has been great. One of the other things that I have been doing over here is that I have been reading or rhythm reading or singing Anthony Robbins books. And this guy is amazing. He has, like so much rhyme in his writing, and so much, it's amazing what he can do with writing. And I've been reading those books, but I just can't publish it anywhere because of course it's copyrighted. But I think about, I have been learning a lot of stuff from that. For example, the stadium voice. And I'm going to demonstrate for you a little bit of the stadium voice over here. Yeah! Today we are here at the stadium. Are you having fun? Let's be giving some applause for Truth Detective. Yeah! Hit those thumbs ups and click the subscribe. This is my stadium voice. It reaches very far. You people in the back row, just hear my voice, my mom. Something like that. It's very important that when you go to some place, you see that I'm not really screaming over there. It's not screaming. You get loud, but the most important thing is about how your voice kind of travels. You hear that? Yeah, you people over there, just give those thumbs ups and be clicking the subscribe button. We have the Truth Detective over here in the stadium. Yeah, more noise. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all about the empty spaces over there, because you have to take into consideration that sound travels. It doesn't reach its destination instantly. It's like light, but sound travels much slower than light. But if you think about light, light works the same way. You just don't hear it, but there might be some, like in the sun, if you would kind of like hear, there would be some God, over there. Yeah, you people over there on planet Earth, like see this freaking thing, yeah. Yeah, it kind of takes time, and everything takes time in your life. You should be patient, and I'm doing this kind of video that requires a little bit of patience for you. And for example, here I have this vegan thing, and I'm a vegan if you didn't know that. Usually vegans tell that to you that they are a vegan in the first 30 seconds of actually giving you or actually coming to talk to you. But it's very funny that I haven't actually told in any conversation. I have actually, okay, let's go back. Who have I told that I'm a vegan in my conversations? I can say that I have had about 500 conversations with people from my town and from, also Helsinki. And I can say that I have told that I'm a vegan for about 10 people of those 500, I'm not that kind of vegan that goes to everybody that I'm a vegan. And only one person, the first thing was that I asked was that if she was a vegan. Yeah, But really, if I think about it, being a vegan is, these relationships things, for example. Like, if you were a vegan, would you want to would you want a relationship with somebody who is not a vegan? Like that would be kind of a pain in the ass, I feel, at least, because I believe that vegans think kind of different, But what I notice about, meat eaters is that they're very brutish, and their brains work in a very brutish way. Of course they do, because if you eat something that is being butchered, blood flying everywhere and some butchering all that. Let's be killing all of these cows, let's take all of these vegans by the bull horns, yeah, my man. Something like freaking that. And of course, they're gonna be pretty, brutish. It's just, fat meat eaters are one of the worst people on planet Earth. I'm not going to say that all fat people are bad, but I'm going to say that I have met a lot of fat people that are very, shitty. Fat people have those kind of characteristics sometimes. But I'm also gonna say that I have met some very nice fat people, So it's not about being fat that makes you kind of tedious, But yeah, some fat people are kind of shitty, I'm just gonna say that pretty straight. That I have met more people that are shitty, that are fat, than people that are not, Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, but I also have to talk about in this video that when you kind of demand somebody for something, and for example, not to be fat, you should be able to kind of know the way that would be kind of taken if you would want to realize that kind of goal. And there's a lot of this weight loss stuff, you know, on this globe, or this planet Earth, you know. There's a lot of books about weight loss, and there's a lot of weight loss channels, and maybe there's even YouTubers that have gone through the weight loss process, you know, on their, you know, video cams. But I wasn't that kind of a YouTuber, because when I started I was already pretty fit, you know. I was already weightlifting and cycling and that kind of stuff. I had already went over the major kind of pain points in my life, or the major difficulties in my life. And when I, you know, became a YouTuber, I had already, you know, done that kind of physical like layer and some self-developmental stuff, quite a lot actually, when you compare to the regular human being. And we can kind of like ask the question, like, what self-development really then means? And I'm going to say that self-development means that you take your life and you try to look at your life as kind of something you can work on and you can make better. It might be aspects of your life, like your physical health, like your mental health, and like also your relationships and also your skills. And this is also self-development. But if you grab a guitar and you want to become, you know, like the world-class guitarist, does that mean that you are developing yourself? It not necessarily, you know. It means that you are like developing a skill. But usually it is the way that you need some character qualities to develop some aspect of yourself. For example, if you are playing the guitar, you need some discipline and you need some focus and this kind of stuff. And this is self-developmental stuff. If you, for example, think about meditation, meditation is self-development for sure, because you are changing up your brain and you are making your brain more focused, and you are making your mind more maybe imaginative to, like, for example, to like receive dreams if you do meditation. So it's self-development. Of course it's self-development, but there's so much facets to self-development, and I'm going to say that self-development is this, you know, a thing that you have to work as, you know, layers or building blocks. You can't just think that I'm going to start like developing myself and I'm going to see like these results happen in other people's life like instantly. If I, you know, try to also help other people develop themselves, it's not gonna happen like that. For example, Tony Robbins told is that I used to be fat and a loser and distracted. Then I got fit, focused, and influentially awesome. And also motivational and a coach. So he worked on himself first, and that's what I did also. But you shouldn't maybe take that to the extreme. But what I noticed is that for example, in the healthcare system, there's a lot of people that haven't worked on themselves. And if you don't work on yourself, you can actually cause a lot of harm to the people that you are trying to help. And it's not that trying to help other people is evil. Of course not. Of course it's not evil to try to help other people. But it's not inherently good either. So you are kind of like playing this line, at least me, I'm playing this line of trying to kind of take your life to the next level, while at the same time trying to show you some things that you would probably not be able to develop in yourself ever, you know, trying to be different, like a performer, you know, like a comedian when he gets on stage, you know, he's not trying to develop you, he's trying to entertain you. So I'm kind of like playing the line over here of being an entertainer and being a coach for you, kind of like making your life better. And what I've noticed in some of my fans is that I see that, you know, their lives are pretty great, you know. Like I see that, you know, these people are getting better, you know, and I don't know if there's any, you know, effect that my content has had on them. It's not always that you get direct feedback from people that you are doing your work for like that, or but yeah, I see that, yeah.